and welcome back to the show. It is the wow, take two.
You don't even know.
Going off, music back up and back down. Welcome to the show, wrestling with the small package.
Yes.
Take three. All right, we're not editing anything tonight. This is wrestling with a small package. I am Monty the Yank. With me, as always, is
I'm Brian Byers.
And tonight we're gonna talk Raw and Smackdown, and got some nude news.
Nude?
Tids and bits. Are you excited for that, Brian?
I am excited for the nudes.
For the nudes. I only have 2 dick pics, 2 of which may not be mine.
Oh,
so what do you think about
what
that?
The hell? That's weird. That is weird. It's not one of your dogs, is it?
No. No. One of the guys' name is Chad.
Too bad.
Maybe.
Why do you have a dick pic of Chad?
Because I asked for it.
Oh.
Ooh.
I feel like we're getting off topic now.
No, I'm pretty sure this is what we're going to talk about the rest of the night.
Oh, well, I have to take some shots.
You do, actually. Before you do that, Brian,
yes.
You can find all of us at withasmallpackage.podbean.com. You can check me out on Twitter at Monty the Yank, and Brian on Twitter at Brian Byers with a Y45. So please check us out. iTunes and Google Play, if you can find us, which is damn near impossible. So, Brian, how are you doing?
I am doing well. I'm a little tired. Been working my ass off.
In the hot weather, the hot Ohio weather.
In the hot Ohio heat.
Where rain only makes it worse.
Yeah. A little bit of rain makes it humid as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Feels like you're in Satan's asshole.
How do you know? You been there?
That's what, yeah.
Nice.
I live in Ohio. That's what they should have.
Good point.
That's what they should have named Ohio.
Where part of Ohio are you? Satan's asshole.
Satan's asshole.
Is that near Columbus?
About 40 minutes east.
All right, Brian.
Yes.
You do have some shots to do. Do you want to do them now, or do you want to do them later?
Let's do them now. Let's get them out of the way.
All right. How many did you have?
I think I had 2, right?
That sounds right. Better make it 3.
Ugh.
What whiskey are you drinking?
Jameson.
Ooh.
Irish motherfucker. All right. Here's looking at your asshole.
Hopefully. That's what you get for choosing AJ Styles.
That was botched, by the way.
Depends on who you talk to.
I guess AJ was pissed.
It was a botch if you talk to one news source. It was a change finish in the middle of the match if you ask the other.
Yeah.
So.
His shoulders weren't down, so.
Yeah.
All
it
right.
did lead to something awesome on SmackDown, though.
Yes, it did.
And now here's for picking Ty Dillinger.
No, this is not for Ty Dillinger.
I can't remember the other one you missed. Usos?
No, I picked a New Day. What was the other one that I missed? Oh,
yeah, Natty.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yay!
Oh.
Congratulations,
right,
you're a man now.
Now you're a man.
And here's...
Man.
Now you're a man, a manny man.
Now I'm going to pour me another one just for fun.
Yes. I am drinking Rich and Gold, which is $8. It's not bad for $8. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, not to bore anybody any longer, let's get going. Brian, here's the problem. We're drinking, and we had 2 shows that really didn't need drinking. I thought both of these shows were pretty good. Raw drags, but it drags. I mean, there's not much to talk about there. However, let's get started with Raw. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Dun 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 dun.
Yay.
You suck. You suck.
You suck.
Out comes
You
Kurt Angle,
suck.
Brian. And you know what, Brian, Jesus Christ. We should start over, by the way. I'd just like to point this out.
No, we're good.
Kurt Angle comes out, and the first thing he talks about is not the WWE, not, Jesus Christ. Brian, tell me what happened, because I can't talk, obviously.
I'm not sure how he started it, honestly.
He come down, and he starts talking about his son. Then he decides, oh, by the way, we have a match at SummerSlam I have to book. So he goes to book it, and he says, after a long time here and thinking about it, I've chosen, and then all of a sudden you just hear, Braun! And out comes Braun, and whoever timed this entrance music needs a medal, because it was perfect.
Yes.
Braun comes down and he goes, if the next words out of your mouth wasn't going to be Braun, we're going to have an issue. So he says why he should be champion. He's the one that can beat Brock Lesnar, and he doesn't fear him. That brings out Joe. Joe is pulling the best Stone Cold Steve Austin you can have coming out to the ring, just jaw-jacking. Gets in the ring and he says, I don't fear Lesnar, and I about choked him out. Well, then that brings out everybody's favorite, Roman Reigns. Now, Roman, in fairness, got a decent pop, I thought. There was a lot of boos, but there was a lot of cheering for him. He gets in the ring, and then he says one of the stupider things, which was, y'all haven't done anything here. Last time I checked, they beat you 3 times in the past, 4 months.
Yeah.
Might not want to say you haven't done nothing, because you have. They've beaten you several times.
The only way he was able to stop Braun Strowman was with the use of a fucking semi-trailer and an ambulance.
Yeah. Well, and still they go back to that. He extracted his revenge when he did that. Well, but we're still talking about the fact that when Braun Strowman flipped the ambulance on him, they had a match.
Right.
And they had a match in which, last time I checked, Roman Reigns won. Right?
Right.
Am I wrong?
I think so. No,
yeah.
I think you're right.
So, anyways, we're getting off topic. So, they go back and forth, and finally, Kurt Angle gets in between all of them. They're about to fight, and Kurt just says, listen, we're going to have it, and it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe. And the crowd goes banana sandwich. Then he goes, and Braun Strowman. And the crowd goes banana sandwich. And Roman Reigns. And that's when finally the crowd kind of turned for a minute, because they were like, yeah, okay, yay. It took a second. So we're getting a multi-man match, my favorite. But I think in this case, they need to, because I really think that if you're going to take the belt off of Brock, which I think they might, you can still save pinning him. But it also leads to the fact that you could pin him in a situation where maybe he gets grouped up on.
True. And
then someone fucks him over. So, good opening. I thought this was a really hot opening. And then we spend, let's say an hour and a half of nothing. I put for the next match, just fuck this match again. Same spot on the card, same match. Samson got to sing a little longer, but we deja vu up until the match. Now, the match itself was, I thought, pretty good. Beside the first part of it was just walk and brawl, walk and brawl, walk and brawl commercial. Then,
well, but at least he didn't seem to possibly injure Finn this time.
Yes. They do 0 moves I put before the commercial. Samson with the clothesline and work to the shoulder. We get a chair in hand by Samson, so finally a DQ match with somebody trying to use other things at their disposal. So I did like this, and this bothered me enough that I wrote it down. they're going along, and Booker T, or no, I'm sorry, Corey Graves points out that, Finn Balor, he's nobody to sneeze at. He was the first Universal Champion, and he won it with a separated shoulder. And then Cole just nonchalantly and he had to give it up the next night.
Yeah.
And it was, I know he didn't mean it that way, but how it was said was just like, yeah, but so he had to give it up.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Now he saved it after that because he said, it took a lot of courage and blah, 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 blah. But when he first said it, it came off just snotty.
Right.
So they go back and forth. The chair gets involved. We come back from another commercial. Jesus.
It seemed like all their commercials hit like right in the middle of a match.
Well, and here's the thing. There were 2 commercials. The match wasn't even 10 minutes long. I mean, the match itself was long, but it wasn't 10 minutes gone, I should say. We weren't even 10 minutes into this match. We already had 2 commercials. That's pathetic. Stop doing that, please. It's just like with Smackdown. They do those picture-in-picture for 3 of the matches last night, which I believe there was only 3 matches. But you don't do a picture-in-picture in the main event?
That's what I'm saying. Like they didn't do the picture-in-picture for like the matches that I thought that they would.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. So we get nothing but steel chair work when we come back. Balor sends us Samson into the chair, which was wedged in the corner. And here's what's weird about that. He does that, slams him into the chair, and then Samson gets to his feet before Finn does.
Yeah.
Then we get more walk and brawl and a front drop kick into the barricade. Samson gets wore out with the chair, which was really nice. And then we get a coup de grace. But all of a sudden, Bray Wyatt's music hits, or his little hits. He's in the ring. He kills Balor. And then we get a 30-minute match, Brian, that ends in a run-in. It wasn't 30 minutes, but it was...
It was a decent length match,
like,
That ends with
18, 20 minutes. And then it just ends in interference, yeah.
Interference, yeah. And then we get follow the buzzards.
Follow the buzzards.
I fucking love that, man. I don't care what
I do too. I don't like matches that
Wyatt.
go that long that are screwy finishes. Now, in this case, I'll let it go because it gets Samson away from Finn, which they need to, without Samson eating another pin.
Bray Wyatt, yeah.
Yeah. So that was fine. But at the end of the day, when you have that long of a match and then you kind of screw it over, it makes me forget the match. The match was not bad. I know I'm kind of shitting on it a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot going on. Samson's clotheslines are amazing, by the way. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but he does a really good clothesline. He needs time. He's going to be fine, but right now, he's not great. Let's just put it that way. Right. But I see him closer to like an Alexa Bliss situation, less so than like a Nia Jax situation, or a Tamina, or a Lana.
Yeah,
or even Marie.
You know what? I can't even speak any kind of ill towards Nia Jax because
it's her character more than her work.
Yeah, but her and the Good Brothers, they keep
awesome
fucking
together.
with. They keep fucking with. I can't remember what the guy's name is.
Tom Phillips.
Yeah, they keep fucking with him because they keep putting up the too sweet to him.
Too sweet, man.
Like,
no nerd.
No nerd. And this past one that I saw, he goes up. He goes, "All right, I've heard it for the last few weeks. I've been called so I can't remember what the hell he said, but he's like, I've been called a nerd, and it's just got to stop." And they're like, "Hey, we're just joking. We're sorry." And they're like, no, nerd.
So the nerd thing is now getting over to me. It's still childish, but at least they're using it the way it needs to be used instead of calling Bailey a nerd with her little Bailey bear and whatever. So Jason Jordan is up next, or at least that's what I saw.
Was he?
I could have swore I saw a thing that said Jason Jordan next. I could be wrong. So then they do a bunch of segments, one of which was Emma threatening to date Jason Jordan. Yeah. Oh, the horror.
Maybe I ought to date maybe I ought to date your son.
We'll date your son. And by the way, I said whore, not a hooer, because she's no hooer. What do they call them down in Australia?
Fuck, I don't know.
That doesn't sound right.
They call them fuck, I don't know.
Fucks I don't knows for $5. So we get Kurt getting mad that she threatens to date his not son, and
Right.
he goes, "Whoa, you want attention? That's fine. You get Nia Jax," which I get as a threat, but then it's like, but that's what she wants. She wants to be on television. So thanks. I
Right.
appreciate it. Are you mad at me? Or are you? I'm confused. So,
I mean, yeah,
anyways,
she's in a squash match against
Yeah.
Nia Jax, but still.
yeah. So this is where I get perturbed. Then I'm like, okay, then now Jason Jordan, right? No, we get a Enzo promo before the match.
Oh, yeah.
Why? First off, why the match again? Second off,
I don't know. Because he's the smack talker Skywalker.
the stupid fucking dance. They have this match. It ends up going exactly as the first match. He has a little bit of a hope spot. He gets a sleeper hold on Enzo. Enzo kills him. Or, I'm sorry, Cass. Cass kills him. And then Enzo gets his head run into the turnbuckle, big boot, and the big, quote-unquote, win by Cass. This brings out the Big Show. And he comes out and then Cass threatens to kill Enzo. What?
Yeah. He's step in this ring, I'm gonna break his neck.
There's
That's
certain scales on the heel level of I'm a dirty bastard, I'll cheat to win, I'll fucking kill you. And he went right to I'll fucking kill you pretty damn quick.
Right. There's I'll beat you up until you're unconscious. There's I'll cheat to beat you.
Yeah. I'll bloody you up.
There's
I'll run you into the back of a semi-trailer in a ambulance. But I'm a face, mind you. That's a face tactic, apparently. But, yeah, so you end up with him threatening to kill Enzo, and then the Big Show just continues to come in the ring.
Just walks in the ring.
He's like, fuck it, kill him. I don't give a shit.
Spoiler, he doesn't kill him.
He does not kill him. He throws him at Big Show, and then Big Boot to Big Show, and he beats the shit out of him. As I put here, the crowd goes mild. The crowd died for the next hour.
And I think people are getting tired of seeing these two fight because Enzo doesn't stand a chance.
It's not progressing the story.
And let's face it, the little bit that we've seen between Cass and Big Show hasn't been good.
Well, it hasn't been good, and here's the thing. You did this last week, basically. Big Show came out.
Exactly.
Cass left him laying. This week, Big Show comes out. Cass leaves him laying. At the pay-per-view, Enzo faces Cass. Cass beats him. This isn't getting me interested in Cass. Again, if you want to build him as a character, these stories need to be there because it's going to be Big Show and Cass, and that's fine. Why can't Cass have a squash match?
Right.
Why can't Enzo win a match between getting his ass kicked? Why can't Big Show have a squash match? Why can't we keep them away from being in the ring together and have them cut promos? Which they're good at.
Yeah.
It's another one of those, well, let's just do it again because we have too much time to fill. Then we get Alexa Bliss backstage. And the crowd got back into it a little bit. Team Gag Reflex. You're one word away from being a little dirtier than you meant. Because if it was Team No Gag Reflex, we'd have an issue. Let's just put it that way.
Nothing wrong with being a little dirty here and there.
I guess. So
but we are the PG era. I get it.
Yes. It was funny because she just says it, and of course, because I'm perpetually 14 years old, I started laughing. So she basically says, I'm not sweating either of them, which, makes sense as a champion. She pushes them against each other. She goes, so if Bayley wins, how's Sasha going to live with that? And Sasha takes Bayley's spot again. So I did like the tease at the heel turn. So I like that. Then we get Nia killing Emma. No one cares because let's squash everybody on the roster that isn't in the main event. Because then you're like, well, what woman are we going to bring up? Nobody, because you don't use them, or when you use them, it's just to kill them. Yay.
Right.
Anyways, it was a fine match. Just Nia killed her, so there you go. Tozawa comes down to face Neville. I thought at first, but he was actually coming down to try to face Daivari again, even though he beat him. So, whatever.
Right.
Neville talked shit, and it was pretty funny. I liked it. It was a really good promo, I thought.
Yes, it was.
Basically
good.
calling him shit. I will beat you. Look at you. Look at me. You're not on my level. Tozawa beats him up, hits the senton splash, and then Daivari just comes running out and beats the shit out of both of them, hits his finisher. So it's setting up Daivari being up there with the other two, and probably a triple threat at SummerSlam.
Pretty sure that Daivari and Neville fought at 205 Live.
Oh, they did?
Last night. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. I don't know. I don't watch it.
I'm assuming Neville won. Do we have to do this again? We have to look this up in the middle of the show.
Well, just keep going. We'll get there. It's
cool.
That's cool.
Then we hit Jordan with a shitty babyface promo. The only thing I can say about this promo is I really hope this turns into a heel thing. Because his shit... My hero is now my dad. Is
right.
Dumb.
That was terrible.
It was very bad. The crowd turned on him. He had one promo and the crowd turned on him during the promo. Now, thank God he fucking saved it in his match. But, yeah, this promo was bad and he should feel bad. We get Seth and Dean working out a game plan. Well, as I put it, Seth, not Dean. I thought this was a good little segment. Seth was worried about 3 guys, and then Dean says, well, you only have to worry about 3. I got to worry about 4. So I thought that was a really well done. Dean not trusting Seth. So
yeah. I like that. I like that angle because he turned his back on him, and you don't forget somebody who's like somebody who's like a brother to you turns their back on you. You're not gonna forget about that. By the way, Daivari picked up the win by countout.
Oh, there you go.
So apparently Tozawa came down to interfere, and Daivari pushed Neville into Tozawa, and there was a count out.
Well, there you go. So, 3-way. So we're going to have a bunch of multi-person matches at SummerSlam, everybody.
And, and it seems like there's just nothing but a bunch of fucking rematches.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. Yep. Smackdown, as I like to call, sorry about Battleground.
Yeah, right.
We get Bayley versus Sasha. Very good match, I thought, between the two, if not basic. They dropped subtle heel hints in the promo earlier, and then even in the match. But what we end up seeing really is Sasha doesn't punch Bayley first. Bayley punched Sasha first. They finally get and they start doing the elbows back and forth, the little flipper punches, and then Bayley just bam hits her with a right. And they pointed it out, so it was actually really well done on commentary. Because they're like, "Ooh, big punch by," and it wasn't a big punch, but they did point out like Bayley fucking socked her. So, Alexa I thought was really good on commentary. She always is. Knees from Bayley and a receipt from a Shining Wizard by Sasha for a standing 8. They're both down. Punch by Bayley and elbow, back elbow onto Sasha. The ending sees Sasha go to the top and hit a splash, but they sold that they were both hurt, and she's pinning Bayley, and Bayley kind of pulls through and rolls through and gets a 3 count. And I thought that was fine because of how long the match was. So they were selling that Sasha was hurt too. So when she got rolled over, it was just Bayley fluke. I mean, it's still a fluke win, but it was Bayley winning because even when Bayley won, she rolled over and was still holding her stomach and everything too. So I thought it was fine enough finish, if not a little weird, depending on where you're heading into SummerSlam. But Bayley versus Sasha will be, versus Alexa, I think it's going to be a pretty good match at SummerSlam.
Yeah. It was a really good match, except for that weak-ass frog splash.
You didn't like
Sasha at the end. That was weak.
Did she do she didn't do the Guerrero thing before. That's why it was weak.
Yeah, but it was bad.
Yeah. I thought it was okay.
And I did like too, there was a hint of a heel turn from Sasha in the match.
Yes.
I want to say that she throws Bayley out of the ring or something like that, and she just starts smirking.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha just starts smirking, looking at her.
She should just point it at her head. Like, too smart. Doesn't make me heel because I'm smart.
She's turning into a cunt.
Can't wait. Yeah, Sasha as a bad girl heel is going to be awesome because Sasha is a better heel, everybody.
They're going to swerve you and they're going to make Bayley a heel.
I would love to see it, but I would love to see it just be like, okay, sink or swim. Here's your heel turn. Go.
Right, yeah. I don't think it'll happen.
No, I don't think so either. She's such a good babyface. She really is. You just let her go out and win matches and show a little bit of fire when she's in the matches, you're fine. Mm-hmm. Quit treating her like she's 14. She's not. Right. She's a woman. Hear her roar and quit treating her like shit. So, finally, we get Jordan Angle Sam Dinson. Comes out to face Kurt Hawkins. Apparently, recent window defender summary. There was no threat found. Thanks. Appreciate that. It was a basic enhancement match. It was perfectly fine. Jordan took most of the match, and he introduced his belly-to-back neck breaker. So there was literally nothing to this match. But what I did like was, and maybe this is what they're going for, or I'm just looking too much into it. You tell me, Brian. Is he goes down and he, he's smiling, babyface. And then when he gets intense, like he was super intense.
Yes.
And then
I did see that.
As soon as he pinned him, then it was like right back to the smile. So I'm hoping that's the whole point is like he's babyface, but when he's in the ring, kind of like the Shamrock snapping stuff, he just snaps on him. So it was a good little match. That's people want Kurt Hawkins to do more, but Kurt Hawkins, he can do more. Don't get me wrong, because I've seen it. He's a funny guy. He's an entertaining wrestler. But getting to be out there week after week and wrestling people to show people that he's really good, it's just like it goes to the Bo Dallas thing, which, in fairness, Bo could do more if they just turned him and put him with his brother. But it's the Curtis Axel thing, too, is they can do more, and I think they should do more, but at the same time, when you give them something to do like this, they're not going to lose their job.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I know that sounds kind of weird, but like Kurt Hawkins going out and having a match and being good against anybody you put him against, he's going to have a job forever.
Right.
So unless he wants more, it is what it is. And right now with the Jinder Mahal thing, hey, wait your time out. Yeah. Maybe throw you a bone. Now, you probably need to be Indian to get this. Not looking for a whole lot of Caucasians to push up the ladder, but still, it's there.
Right.
Then, Brian, we get your favorite tag team match, Revival versus the Good Brothers.
I enjoyed it.
It was good. Revival comes out, they tell everybody why they're special. They dominate the greatest tag teams. This brings out the club. They said Washington, D.C. is a Good Brothers town.
Yes.
It was a very face promo, considering they're still going after the Hardys.
All we see standing in the ring are a couple of
nerds. So the thing is, we beat up the New Day first. We beat up but this is where I thought they went face, because they didn't point out they beat up John Cena.
Yeah.
Using AJ's voice, but still. Right. Dawson, they're really pushing that Southern accent.
Yeah, they are.
Like, that wasn't there last week. It's there this week. It's there heavy. So, It was good. The match itself, very basic, but it was good. We had a distraction by the Hardys music. Revival get distracted. Club clears the ring. And then we get the club getting distracted by the Hardys for no reason. They kind of challenge Hardys to get in the ring. Revival comes in, hit the Shatter Machine, and then they get the win. Hardys clear the ring of the Revival. So it was a good match, and it's still Revival versus, I'm assuming, Hardys, because I think they have unfinished business, which still leaves you with the club potentially facing off against Sheamus. Yeah, Shamo. So they probably, and I bet money on this because that's where they're heading with everything, it's going to be a 4-way. What they're doing with everything. Yeah. They're doing multi-man, multi-women matches for like everything. Yeah. It's getting scary because it's going to be boring to me because I hate multi-person matches. So, anyways, we'll see. Miz and Co. cut a pre-tape. There was literally nothing to it. It was stupid. Yeah. And I didn't like it. Stupid. Then we get Brian, the Miztourage versus Not the Shield.
2/3 of the Shield.
2/3 of the Shield. My favorite Shield member refuses to acknowledge they exist, but keeps their music anyways. Basic match. I know I say that a lot, but it was by the numbers. The three take the match for most of it. We get a lot of Miz versus Seth. I didn't like, though, Miz slowing down the match right before the 11 o'clock hour. I thought that was kind of stupid. Get a hot tag to Dean. Miz with the blind tag, but and the skull crushing finale, but he can't end it. Miz gets a 2 off of a DDT, goes for the skull crushing finale, but Seth comes off with a knee from the top. Dirty Deeds by Dean in the victory. So the match itself was fine. They sent the crowd home happy, which they haven't done in a while. Thank God they did this. And then right after Seth gets all psyched up, Ambrose is all excited. Seth puts that hand out for the Shield reunion, Shield fist bump. And Dean's like, yeah, doing like the handshake. Like,
good job.
Yeah, and just rolls out of the ring. So I still think where they should head, but they're not going to, is Seth turning on Dean and saying, well, fuck you then. If you're going to blame me and accuse me of all this bullshit, then I'm just going to do it. I know they won't do it because they want Seth as a face, but I still think that I'd rather see Dean and Seth face off at SummerSlam than Seth and Miz, or Dean, Seth, and Miz, where I think it's heading.
Yeah.
So, again, what'd you think about Raw? I thought it was good. Not great, but I thought overall the show didn't drag too much.
I didn't think it was too bad. I hate to say it, but I really just didn't care about the main event. I love the Miz and the Miztourage, but I just for some reason I just didn't care. I would have rather have seen, the main event on Monday go to Sasha Bailey, or Club and Revival.
Well, and what was kind of weird is your people involved in the 4-way for the championship, not a single one of them was involved in the match.
None of them were invested. Yeah, right.
So, which I'm fine with if you want to, it is what it is, but not seeing Braun beat up somebody, or I think the whole point of it was because the big brawl at the beginning. Because I guess that's your segment, that's your match. They beat the shit out of each other. We didn't mention that, by the way. They come out, and it was kind of cool. People got back behind Roman at the beginning because he just looks at Strowman and he goes, you know what? Because Strowman said something really cool. He goes, I don't care how many people in the match. I just want to stack bodies.
Yeah.
And Roman just looks at me and goes, you know what? Shut up. And then hits him. We have a big brawl, pull apart. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I guess that's your whole thing. Well, we're not going to have a match.
Took a hellacious bump.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. They beat the fuck out of some of those guys.
Thrown over the top rope with nobody to catch him.
Oh, yeah. And he went hard.
Hard on his back.
That was his tryout enhancement talent, just going over the top.
But see, here's my thing. You could have saved that segment for the end.
Very true. At the end of the night, I'm going to announce the number one contender.
With them brawling like that?
That's very true. That is true.
Finish the show with that.
But it always falls into this category, and it's still true to this day. Your most important segments are, well, now, it used to be because 2 hours was beginning, middle, and end. So your beginning, your start of the second hour, and then your finish. Now it's beginning, middle, end. But having that segment at the beginning is, they would think, as important as having it at the end. But I think you could have promoted that. That is a good point. I'd have rather the promotion being, hey, up next, we're going to find out who the number one contender is. That's a good point.
Well, yeah, and you go off the air with them brawling like that, you're like, oh, shit, I got to watch next Monday.
Yeah.
Because something's going to happen between one of these three.
One of these are going to come out. And you know what I would do? And
potentially Brock will be there.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, if he decides to show up.
He's like, I'll see you at SummerSlam.
Right, yeah.
And that's a good point, because even if you start the show with them brawling again.
Yeah.
So you end hot, start hot, and then you're like, you know what? And that's your more organic, to me, way to set up a tag match. I know there's only 3 involved at this moment, but all right, fine. You guys want to get your fucking shit, whatever it may be, fine. You 3 are going to face off, and whoever started it, just, I don't know. I'm booking out of my ass right now. But, okay, you 2 are together, and you, because you're the asshole that started this, find a partner.
Yeah, right.
We'll see you in the main event. And then you have some... And here's the thing. And I think they've done this too much. When you do those tag matches like that, don't make it go 15, 20 minutes. Have a 5-minute main event. It's television. You don't need a 20, 30-minute television match every week to end the night. So you do some schmas that come out, and then it ends up just being a bullshit finish. And it's going to be a bullshit finish. But just make sure the guy that you want to win the championship stands tall. Braun. And that's what you do. Braun. So, anyways, I agree with you. I thought the show was pretty good. I'd move some of that stuff around, too. I agree with that. I don't think Miz versus Not the Shield was necessarily the main event you need. But we can say that Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel were in a main event. So, there you go.
That's true. And
Curtis Axel, who
they look pretty good, actually.
I believe still has a winning record on Triple H. Just to point that out.
Nice.
So, let's talk about Smackdown. Oh, yeah. We open and out comes Kevin Owens, Brian. Woo! We get Kevin gloating about winning the belt. This brings out AJ. Comes out and he says, hey, we have unfinished business. I want my rematch. How about that? Then we get the return of Chris Jericho. Same music. Beautiful rainbow. Titantron. Would you call it rainbow? It's rainbow color. Yeah. I love that. I don't think Jericho's ever had an entrance video on WWE that has, your basic shit. It's literally, and AJ's this way now too. It's just here's my name because my name is awesome. Right. So fuck you.
Right.
So Chris comes down. He let's just get this out of the way. He has I've been on the road traveling with Fozzie Belly.
Yeah.
And he kind of admitted in his promo because he said, you took me out. I stayed home, lounged around, had some beers. And, he comes back and he goes, hey, I deserve a rematch. And AJ's like, well, I hate to break it to you. I'm first. He goes, yeah, I would probably punch somebody out for that. But you know what you get? You get put on the list. So this goes back and forth. Kevin goes up the ramp like he's going to leave. This brings out Shane McMahon. Kevin's like, this has nothing to do with me. He goes, no, it has everything to do with you. They're both right. And we're going to have a championship match tonight. And they're both getting their shot. So I thought this was a well done segment, if not longer than it needed to be. But it was entertaining.
Yeah.
And again, Smackdown was a sorry about Battleground, everybody.
Yeah, and anything with those 3 promo-wise is going to be good.
Yeah, just give them time to talk and have fun. And that's exactly what they did.
And you know what? I'm even really starting to like Shane's promos here lately. I think he's doing a pretty good job with his promos as well.
Sometimes he looks like he doesn't care.
Ever since the helicopter crash.
It got him all rejuvenated.
Yeah.
Leave it to Shane to bump off a helicopter and not be hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
He probably went through a table.
Yes.
Out of the helicopter.
Yeah. It broke his fall.
Right.
So, the other thing I put here is, again, everybody, what's your main focus on the show? Is it the WWE champion? Nope. And we'll get to that later, because I said, don't fret, it soon will be. Oh, right. It soon will be. And that's either a good thing or a bad thing between the two guys that will potentially be facing off. I still think we're going to have a multi-man match.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So because we have to change plans, and sorry about Battleground, we have a do-over, Brian. And that do-over is Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. I'm sorry. Take two. Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. Can we just get something out of the way right now? I love Baron Corbin. I really do. Yeah. The hair's got to go. Dude, bad, yeah. It's bad. And it's not when it's sitting, whatever. He's getting the skullet, and I get it. He's bald behind. His hair was flipped over his head on one of these moves. He's got a bald spot in the back of his head. He's bald. Almost all of that hair is the top of his head. Well, he just needs to shave it. He just does. It's done for, and it sucks. And I know, and I get it. Just wear the fucking skullet, dude. You have a skullet. Wear the oh god, the really tight beanies.
The beanie?
Yeah. Just wear a beanie. And then when you wrestle, you don't even have to shave it. Just do it, like, have it, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be bald. Shave it down. Do a Statham look.
Well, but ask Rusev what happens when you cut your hair.
Yeah, but he has to have a conversation eventually. Like, listen, I'm not doing it to piss you off. I can't. It looks ridiculous. Or he needs to do the second thing, which is stop wetting it down so much.
Yeah.
Because it's too wet, so it gets together and it looks like he has shitty dreads.
Yeah, let it get a little cane frizz.
A little bit. It'll look a little fuller. Get you some, what is that, Tresemme, ooh la la. Yeah. Do something. Get some volume in that hair because it's ridiculous. Anyways, so.
This show not brought to you by Tresemme, by the way.
I wish. Sponsor are available. I need at least $14 a month, everybody. That's what I pay. So, we get Nakamura versus Baron. Knock just beats the shit out of Baron early, right before the commercial break. Baron kills him with the clothesline on the outside. What do you think of that clothesline, Brian?
Yeah, that was looked like it hurt quite a bit.
It was an awesome sell.
I would not want to take that bump.
No, it was good. It was good. We get, during the commercial break, Knock fighting off the onslaught with the Zbyszko hold, which you know what the Zbyszko hold is, right? Yeah. Nobody does. It's a guillotine, basically, guillotine. Right. So he's herked up into a suplex during the commercial, and then as we return, with every commercial, Nakamura's on the ground in a hold. So Knock comes back. He hits a huge front kick, which I really liked. Baron with not a backbreaker, even though they called it that, but it still turned into a choke slam. So good for him. Right. He went to do the backbreaker, and I don't know if he just was like, ooh, I have him out of position. It was smart, or he just never got his leg out. So he just kind of was like, fuck you, choke slam. And it still looked good for a 2 count. We get MMA knees by Baron, which I liked because they looked really good, really deep. Knock sold the shit out of them. Then we get Nakamura dodging the kick to the head. Then he gets him in the corner. Knock kicks him in the head. And then Baron goes to kick him in the dick again, like they did. He dodges that because, he scouted it. He gets him to the ground. Kinshasa. I can never say that word right. Kinshasa. Help me. Say it.
Kinshasa?
Kinshasa. Did I say it right? Kinshasa. Anyways, hits it and gets the 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm just kidding. 1, 2, 3. And that ends it. So, again, that was sorry about Battleground, everybody. Baron looked good in this match. Nakamura looked like he wasn't sleeping through the match, and we didn't get a 45-minute bear hug. So they all learned from their mistake. So good for them.
Why couldn't this just have been done at Battleground?
Exactly. Because this was a sorry about Battleground. I think they changed their mind is the problem. I honest to God think they got to Thursday and they changed their mind.
Yeah. It just makes their whole pay-per-view
waste of time.
Very pointless.
Well, what did I say about the pay-per-view on Sunday?
Well, yeah, it's just a...
It's a holdover. We had to have it.
SummerSlam's coming up.
We promised pay-per-view companies 20 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So here you go. And then I think by Tuesday they thought, oh shit, and spoilers, let's just talk about it. Well, we're probably going to have Nakamura face John Cena. Mm-hmm. So Nakamura needs to beat Baron Corbin.
Right.
Shit. And so now we need to redo this because Nak needs to look strong going into this match next week. Yeah. It's the same thing with the Kevin Owens. I honestly God think, because like I said, depending on the report that they changed their mind or the thing, I honest to God think they changed their mind because I think, honest to God, Vince McMahon goes, oh shit, Chris Jericho's coming back. And you know what we could do is a 3-way on SmackDown. But we can't do it if AJ's the champion. So Kevin, get that belt back. But what you do is you make it not important for the house show because you change championships right back. And then you make the pay-per-view not important because you change the championship back.
Right.
But I just think they changed their mind by the time Thursday rolled around. Tuesday. I keep calling it Thursday, sorry. By the time Tuesday rolled around. So, I don't know. Natalya makes fun of Naomi, and rightfully so. Says she is making a mockery of that belt, which she is. I put Brian's word in here. Naomi tries to defend that belt and then just says it's blah, 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 more prestigious. This is the future. And I said a glow bright is the future. A light bright.
Yeah. Light bright.
I did like...
I did the magical glowing light.
I did like, though, she did have a pretty good thing right at the end. She goes, you've been in the dungeon too long. She goes, keep throwing that shade because you're going to get blinded by the glow. The glow makes sense in a promo. Thank you.
No. Still stupid.
It's still stupid.
Still stupid.
I also put here, though, how the fuck is Carmella not doing anything but threatening to cash in, which she can't even do because a champion never wrestles?
Right.
Brian, these are questions I have.
Well, and these are questions that I don't have an answer to, Brett.
I'm sorry. How is Carmella going to cash in if Naomi never wrestles?
She's going to wrestle at SummerSlam.
And how do I give a shit about Carmella if she never wrestles? Lana and Tamina had a match.
Yep.
Which we're going to talk about very briefly.
At this point, I don't really give a fuck about Naomi or Carmella.
No.
I really don't.
I want to see Natalya win the belt just because.
Yeah, so that way it's not a fucking light bright anymore.
Thank you.
Wrap it with fucking purple and black feathers.
You should never agree with the heel.
Or I guess pink and black.
Yeah. You should never agree with the heel. And I agree 100% with Natalya. You're making it look like shit. Oh, I'm just putting my little special... No, you're not. It looks like shit. Stop. It looks like shit. Stop.
Right.
Put your fucking glow-in-the-dark paint on it. No one sees it. Besides in your entrance. Quit putting fucking LED lights on it like it's a fucking lowrider.
Just don't fucking put stupid shit like that on it.
Yes. But again, I think it's also because I don't care about Naomi's character because what is her character? I sit backstage and I faced Lana 3 times.
Glow.
And I glow.
Glows.
I mean, that's not anything against her. They're just not giving her a character.
She's a light bright.
She's a light bright. Yes, thank you. So, this leads to Naomi versus no. Carmella versus no. Charlotte and Becky versus Tamina and Lana. I just put, fuck this. No reason besides to make sure everybody knows the pecking order. Becky and Charlotte are better than Tamina and Lana.
Right.
So when we have to pick somebody else to face off, because one of these girls are going to get hurt, there'll be nobody to face nobody, because we got to make sure that Becky and Charlotte are better than Tamina and Lana.
Yeah.
So Lana, who had this Aurora...
You need a match for that.
Yeah, we need to have a tag match. A basic, by-the-numbers tag match.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can beat Lana clean. So that we can push the fact that Tamina is a monster. Because she's not.
Nope.
A good wrestler. Because she's not.
She did look a little psychotic at the end, though.
She was pissed. But then you have her get in the ring and beat the fuck out of Lana. That's what I would have done. Then at least this makes sense.
Yeah, I mean...
And again, I liked this show. I really did. This match made no sense. Naomi does nothing for months. Carmella does nothing for months. So you put your women's segment as a tag match that makes no difference between the winner or the loser.
Between your two best and your two worst on the roster.
They all want title shots. A tag title shot?
You know, maybe they should make a women's tag title.
With the 7 people on their roster?
Well, I mean, you could then bring up more women from NXT.
You should. No, I agree. There should be some other title. Or, you know what? You don't need titles necessarily. Just give them something to do.
Yeah.
They do a good job filling segments on Smackdown, but it's... We'll get to it. But you're not... The back-to-back tag matches that you had, you're ignoring other character development. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
So, Jinder comes out, Brian.
Oh boy.
Your champion finally comes out in the middle of the show.
Yep.
He wants an opponent. So, USA, 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 USA. USA! USA!
John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks.
John Cena comes out. Here's the good news.
Got a cum rag. Wipes it on his face.
Throws it to the crowd. So, here's the good news. I just was thinking about that last song you just sang. Meta Cena is best Cena, though. He really is.
Yeah.
At SummerSlam, you'll face Super Cena.
Yeah, fuck you.
You will have to. I mean, he basically just saying, fuck you, I deserve a shot because fuck you. Now...
I deserve a shot because I'm John Cena?
Yeah. And that's why I put he deserves a shot because USA, 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 USA. Thank God, though, Brian comes out and just tells John, he goes, you can't just have a championship match. You have to earn it. So you'll face Nakamura next week. Now, here's the bad news. He says you can't just have a championship match, but isn't that exactly what John Cena did on that exact fucking brand right before WrestleMania?
That's all John Cena does.
He showed back up and says, AJ, I get to face you. You know why? Because I'm John Cena. That's why we had a match. Survivor Series. That's why we had a match. We had a match because John Cena showed back up and said, I get a match because fuck you. That's why. Or Rumble, whatever it was.
Now, the only thing I can hope for is they're going to do like what we've been talking about and push Nakamura to the moon because they know they don't have much time left with him for their in-ring work in WWE.
I think they're going to have a 3-way.
Ooh, kinky.
Yes. Who's a power bottom in that 3?
John Cena.
You think he's a power bottom? No, he's a power top.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal.
He's got to be a power. He's got the abs for it.
Nakamura is the king of strong style, so.
Nakamura's a top.
Yeah.
Jinder, he's got the abs. He can power bottom. He can go all day.
John Cena's a super top.
He's a super top. He's a super Cena. Yeah. I don't know. I just think he's the guy that's just like, let's just 69. It's easier that way. Mm-hmm. But he'll pick you up in like a tombstone. Like, don't
Yeah.
eating. Stop eating stuff.
I don't know.
please.
I hope they don't do the stupid 3-way match, and I hope that
Stop eating.
they use this opportunity to push Nakamura to the moon like he should be.
Stop.
He should have, even if it's a small run with the title. It doesn't have to be a long run.
He's gonna have a run.
And he needs to.
But they probably should do it now because they're not doing... And this is sad because they could do it and it'd be great, but they're not going to because fuck them. But if you're going to do it now because you're not doing it around Mania.
Right.
Let's be honest. You're not. Even though you could, and then you could have an amazing AJ Styles versus Nakamura match that you could recreate what they did at Wrestle Kingdom, I believe 10, and it would be amazing, or 9, whichever one it was. So, but that's neither here nor there. Heaven forbid we put good matches on our shows. Anyways, again, Cena knowing that he's a fucking meme is the best Cena. Cena, as we go back to, and I heard this, and that summed up our anger on Sunday of how bad a match that was. Cena is such a cartoon character right now. It's ridiculous. Yeah. He's not bumping. He is all facial expressions. And he is everything I hate about wrestling right now. And that's sad because I don't dislike John Cena. But since he's come back, it's really like, hey guys, I gotta leave in a couple months. Don't hurt me, please. Thanks.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Yeah. So, anyways, we move on. Did you know that Kevin Owens doesn't like Shane? Were you aware?
Yes.
Were you aware that Shane doesn't like Kevin Owens? Were you aware? Yeah. Remember when they've established this? Never.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Ever. Never. Now, in fairness, Kevin did heel out talking about how he was glad the helicopter crashed. But that's just, that's neither here nor there. We won't talk about that.
That's just mean.
That is mean.
It's kind of really fucked up.
Yes. Again, I should never agree with the champion. Or the champion. The heel.
The heel, yeah.
He says, I could be not pinned. This isn't fair. I don't deserve this. And he's right. He didn't do anything to win that belt that was cheating.
Right.
He threw AJ into the ref. But he didn't do it on purpose. He just threw AJ off of him. And then pinned him. Clean.
Yeah. Well.
So the heel is like, I don't deserve this, and he's right. He doesn't.
Yep.
Now, Shane then says, I don't care who the champion is, which I thought was odd phrasing, but then he saved it because he goes, because as long as they're defending it for these fans, I don't really care who the champion is, as long as they're here defending the belt. So, it was fine, and what's scary is I think it's going to be Shane and Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. Why?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Why?
Well, because Shane needs to do
a
match so often.
He already wrecked a helicopter.
No. Well, that put it back into him. He's like, hey, I took a bump from a helicopter through a table.
I'm going to fly a helicopter into the arena. I'm going to jump off of it.
Right. It's like you got Super Cena, you got Super Elbow drop.
I guess.
From the helicopter.
Okay. So, we get Aiden English in the ring, basking in the glory of his victory at, I put, not Battleground, because he wasn't on the show.
Right.
I forgot to mention that on the show Sunday, did you realize that WWE was claiming that Mike Bennett was a former manager of Hallmark? Never wrestled in his life, Brian.
Oh, yeah. I did hear them say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking cunts? So, we get...
they don't want to recognize that he worked for one of the other promotions.
You're going to say that a guy from Hallmark just walked into your company and beat Sami Zayn the first night?
Yeah, well.
Why?
It's the WWE, dude.
Fucking idiots, dude.
It
takes 3 seconds to just think and go, there's not one person that goes, that's kind of stupid, right? And then even if, at that point, and I know it's a job, and a job is a job is a job, but that's the point where I just be like, you know what, fuck this. No, it's stupid. Right. Fire me, please.
I
because this is fucking stupid.
But it's WWE writers for you.
Jesus Christ. So we get those guys versus Zayn, Sami Zayn, and Ty Dillinger. I put here, why does Zayn still have an issue with Bennett? Didn't he win on Sunday? They pointed out, this is why Sami Zayn has a problem with Mike Bennett. And then after they do all that, then they go, oh, in that big victory he had on Sunday. Okay, feud done, right? Right? We're done?
Well, God forbid that, he shows affection towards his wife and he kisses her.
Yeah, and beat the fuck out of him because he's an asshole. So, here's my problem with all of this. Again, it was a waste of time. It was a tag team for tag team's sakes. Mm-hmm. The match was stupid. It was pointless. We get a formulaic WWE tag team match, and what it was hot tag to Ty. Ty takes over, hell of a kick, and win on Bennett again. Who cares? Yep. So, let me ask you a question. How many matches has Ziggler had in the past month?
I haven't seen him.
He's had one, and that was in a battle royal.
Oh, yeah.
How many matches has the Ascension had on SmackDown?
0?
Precisely.
I don't know.
How many matches has the Hype Bros had on SmackDown?
1. Since Zack Ryder came back.
1. How many have the Fashion Police have on SmackDown?
They've just been doing the Fashion Files.
Yeah. So they've had 0
I guess
matches.
They didn't know. I think they had like maybe 1 or 2.
Nope. Last match they had was against your boy, the Ascension, at a pay-per-view. Last pay-per-view, not
was
Battleground.
That the one where he dressed up like the old woman?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry. You are right. They did have a match. You're right. Trying to think. Trying to think other people on that roster right now. But you get my point.
Yeah. No,
you had a waste of time tag match, and then you don't push anybody else.
Right.
You had 2 waste of time tag matches, where you're only going to have 4 matches.
Right.
You had 2 waste of time tag matches against already established stars to continue to establish that they're stars.
Yeah.
But you can't use Ziggler in anything? And that's my problem. And I'm not a huge Ziggler fan. I think he's good. Mm-hmm. I take him or leave him. But never mind. And I like the show, everybody. I did. Anyways, the match was fine. It was another waste of time tag match. Then we get the Usos killing the New Day, which I know Brian loved.
I fucking loved it.
Tell me how much you loved it, Brian.
I was sitting here on my couch yelling, "Get a moose! Get a moose!"
Your day one is H.
Day one is H, motherfucker.
Yeah, they beat him down. Big E, this little thing that people don't understand is just attention to detail. Big E only had one part of his singlet up, insinuating that he was backstage, and he was like, "Oh fuck!" and he tried to throw his singlet, like up and over to go out. Right. Now, at the same time, when has a New Day ever come out not all together?
Yeah,
but still, it is what it is.
Kayfabe.
Kafab. But the Usos come out, beat the fuck out of him. Super kick, and then double super kick to Big E, which they said, kill shot.
Young Bucks, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they started doing it as soon as the Young Bucks, and this has been a couple years ago, as soon as the Young Bucks did not accept a WWE contract, all of a sudden, everybody and their sister started doing a super kick. Oh, yeah. So they killed him. It was good because Usos versus New Day at SummerSlam is... name another tag team that should be facing them. Because you can't.
There's nothing.
Oh, that's the other person. Chad fucking Gable. Where the fuck was Chad fucking Gable tonight? Nowhere? Couldn't put him on the card somewhere? Couldn't have him have a match now? No, it's more important Aiden English and Mike Bennett eat a fucking pen. Thank you. Sorry.
Basically.
So, they're backstage.
Gable was on Smacking Talk, though.
He was on Smacking Talk. I got official papers right here. You are my son.
How can that be true? You're 5 years old.
You are 5 years. I was a Vero 5-year-old. Someone put it, they go, he wasn't asking the real questions. Why was Chad Gable's mother having sex with a 5-year-old?
Right.
So that was hilarious. It was on Tout. It wasn't, but I love that joke because I think Tout's dead, by the way. So we get Nakamura backstage being interviewed by Renee Young. Renee asks him what he thinks about next week. He just looks at him and he goes, "Next week, John Cena, you cannot see me."
Yes.
He's like, "Because I will see Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam." And he just walks away. It was perfect. He has so much charisma and he knows how to present himself. I know some people will, well, I don't get it, and that's fine because it is Japanese culture. He's doing a thing that gets over in Japan, and he's not going to change what he is for WWE.
Right.
So I do get it because some people are like, well, is he gay? Like, is he covers his mouth? His basic inspiration is Michael Jackson. That's what he took his inspiration on. When he went out, all young lions in Japan have to go out and they go somewhere else and they work. And I believe he ended up in Mexico. And during this time in Mexico, he invented this persona. I'm just going to be this over the top. I'm going to take all the like movements from Michael Jackson. I'm just going to be charismatic. And he came back and that's what he was. Before he left, he was some MMA guy with no haircut and bland. And they put a belt on him before he left. And people hated it. And then he came back and he was Nakamura. And that's what he was ever since. So I love it because I've always loved that character. I get why some people don't like it. But I think overall everybody enjoys it. And they haven't done anything to fuck with him. So I can't get mad at that.
Right.
So you know what time it is, Brian?
What time is it?
Time for the main event of the evening. Woo! We get Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. Championship. I just put here, this was a good match, but let's paraphrase this. Everybody gets their shit in, and then we go to break.
Yeah, right.
We come back from break. We see the Tower of Doom spot, but it gets fucked up, I think. And then they improvise. That's what I think. Because then Chris Jericho rolls up Owen into the walls attempt. We get a 450 onto Jericho. But Owens comes in and tries to steal the win, which keep that in mind. Walls onto AJ. Then he ends up with the walls onto Owens after he slingshots him into AJ. He does release it because AJ gets back in. He hits a code breaker. Kick out all around, and everybody is down. Kevin with the frog splash. And then AJ runs in, throws Kevin out, and then sends him out. And then he pins Chris off of Kevin's move for the 1-2-3. So I liked how they told the story. Off of frog
splash that looked really good.
His
not
frog
like
splash
Sasha's shit frog splash.
Yeah, Sasha's splash is not. For being such a spry woman, she doesn't have a whole lot of ups.
Right.
Because almost everything she does, there's not a whole lot of athleticism when it comes to that. And it's kind of weird because she has like the body type and the movement in the ring that you think, like you would think she has the movement that like Charlotte Flair has.
Right.
And she doesn't. And it's kind of sad. But anyways, yeah. The frog splash was amazing. I love, again, this is going back to when we talk about finishers and false finishes. What I like about AJ picking up the victory off of frog splash is now you kind of buy into the frog splash being a finish.
Yeah.
So I do like that. Sends him out. Kevin has an absolute hissy fit around ringside. He yells at AJ and tells AJ, hey, I am invoking my rematch, and I will see you next week. So the one thing SmackDown did and has been doing very well is they promote next week.
Right.
So I thought overall 2 hours, very tidy, was good. The tag matches were good. That's why I didn't not enjoy them, but I start raging a little bit because then you're ignoring half your roster to have two complete throwaway tag matches. Now, that's them thinking what's more important to push those people, which is fine. But I liked it better if you got a couple other quick matches in. but that's me.
And the problem too, though, is the tag matches were getting rematches.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Of matches we've already seen.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
At that point.
At that point. No, I agree with you. Again, going back to this was an absolute sorry about the shitty pay-per-view.
Right, wow, yeah.
Which I give WWE credit, because a year ago, they weren't doing that. They give you a shitty pay-per-view and then give you a shitty Raw. And a shitty, well, not a shitty SmackDown. SmackDown's been pretty consistent for the past year, but they were doing really good about, even if the pay-per-view was bad, they're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Because we're going to continue giving you bad. They're doing something now that at least goes, okay, you know, this didn't work, we understand that, so let's do something a little different. Even the Jinder Mahal thing, we talked about it. This is the perfect time if if John Cena ends up going for the title. It's a perfect time to do it, because not a whole lot of people are going to boo John Cena beating Jinder Mahal.
Right, exactly.
So, and if you do it with Knock, you do it with Knock. If you do a three-way, you do a three-way. But it's a good way to go into SummerSlam, and if John Cena's going to win, nobody's going to be angry. They'll be like, thank God that happened. So, what do you think?
I'd still prefer Knock.
Yeah, me too. So, here's the good news. Shitty pay-per-view and all. WWE SmackDown ratings unchanged after Battleground. There was no bump, but there was no drop. So that means people that are watching are watching. They had 2.548 million viewers. It was down very slightly, but very, very... it was 2.535 before the pay-per-view. So it's good news and bad news, and I know people get bitching and complaining about this, but you're at your hardcores now. So the people watching are watching. So whereas if you had a bad pay-per-view, you might see a couple 100,000 leave. There's not a couple 100,000 to lose anymore.
Right.
There's just not. Unless you lose people like me and you. Now it is down 7.58%. Last year's SmackDown was averaging 2.74. So there you go. There you go. In other news, Brian, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. We are on day 7, and I've watched day 1 of the G1 Climax. Day 7 of the G1 Climax will be... we'll ignore the tag matches because those aren't super important. Besides, there should be a good one in Michael Elgin, Ryusuke Taguchi versus Kenny Omega and Chase Owens. That should be a good match. In your actual G1 matches coming up Wednesday at 5:30 a.m. So I think this happened already. I just haven't seen it. Actually, I know it happened because I know the ending. We had Tomohiro Ishii versus Yoshihashi. We had Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bad Luck Fale, and I do know the ending to that, by the way. Guess who won? Sabre. He beat Bad Luck Fale. Togi Makabe versus Ibushi. We have Nagata versus Naito. That should be a fun one. And then Tanahashi versus Goto, which should be a really good one. Tonight, right around 5... Oh, no, you know what? Yeah, tonight, or tomorrow morning, about 5:30 a.m., you're going to end up with Tama Tonga versus Juice Robinson. You have Sanada versus Toriano. Minoru Suzuki versus Evil. That should be a good one. You got Okada versus Kojima, and then Omega versus Elgin, which that should be a hell of a match. So a couple good ones coming up. If we want to look at Block A and Block B right now, we've got Naito 3-1 with 6 points. We've got Zack Sabre Jr. 3-1 with 6 points. We got Tanahashi 3-1, which is pretty big after his first match. He lost to Zack Sabre, made him tap out because of his arm. He is 3-1. We got Bad Luck Fale with 2-2. Goto's 2-2. Ibushi's 2-2. Ishii is 2-2. Makabe 2-2, Yoshihashi 1-3, and then Nagata has not gotten a win at 0-4. Block B, you got Okada at 3-0, Omega at 3-0, shocker.
Right.
Evil, which is really awesome, with 4 points at 2-1 because they're facing off tonight, so they'll have another match out of the way tonight. Suzuki with 4 points, 2-1. Juice Robinson's 1-2. Tamatanga 1-2. Sonata 1-2. Toriano is 1-2. Michael Elgin is 1-2. That's sad. And then you got Kojima at no wins, 0-3. So right now it is shaping up to be a big deal coming down the stretch with Okada and Omega, and I still think at the end of the day, one of those fucks the other one, and you're going to see somebody sneak in on that side. And I still think on Block A, Naito is going to get there. I think something's going to happen, and at the end you're going to get Naito coming out of that. So I still think you have a match with Naito going into the January 4th, because Naito is amazing.
I really have nothing to say. I don't know anything about.
You need to come watch it. Naito. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to cue up the music, but I will remember you, Daryl. Rest in peace.
Yes.
You young kitty cat.
Yes.
Daryl the cat got killed by Bad Luck Fale about a week ago. So, RIP NP, and you will be missed. Brian.
Yes.
ESPN is doing a 30 for 30 on a wrestler. Did you hear who?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. It's not Hulk Hogan.
Who is it about?
Ric Flair is getting a 30 for 30. Should be interesting.
Woo!
They have a release date for everybody here. ESPN will be airing the Nature Boy documentary, 30 for 30. If you haven't seen any 30 for 30s, you need to. They're amazing. Very enjoyable, very in-depth. I think they do a really good job they know the audience that they're reaching out to, so they specifically do the 30 for 30s to reach that audience. This one will air November 7th at 10 p.m. So keep that on your calendar if you want to check it out. It sounds like Triple H, Hulk Hogan, Steamboat, a Baby Doll, Tully Blanchard. The guy I could not remember his name. I don't know why, because I know the guy. The Undertaker, Arn Anderson, Shawn Michaels, Sting, and Road Warrior Animal are listed as being interviewed for this 30 for 30. Along with Flair's first wife, his children, and others close to him.
Now, I have noticed that ESPN has been dipping their toe into the sports entertainment world. You see a lot of wrestlers actually doing something with ESPN.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of nice to see. I mean, it's kind of... I mean, it's good to see that it... I know wrestling has always been relatively popular, but they're trying to get a little bit more mainstream, like maybe it used to be back during the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's good to see. I even though I'm not a huge fan of WWE and everything that they do, I do really enjoy watching, even if it's just for a select few wrestlers. So
yeah, when they do it right, they do it very right.
Very.
Extremely right. Verily right. So, in other quick news, but it's not really wrestling related. You did hear about Alberto El Pachon was not charged, and then there was charges stemming for Paige. Rumor has it that was completely false, made up by false internet claims. It sounds like nobody is going to be charged in that situation. So Paige probably won't get her third strike and suspension, and probably is still going to be with WWE in some capacity. I just hope both of them figure their life out.
And sadly, this is what happens with situations like these. I mean, obviously, it's all speculation. The only people that know exactly what happened are the people that were there and involved.
Mm-hmm.
But you see it too many times where just so many excuses made for the person who beats their loved one.
Yes.
And it's, oh, well, they just do it out of love and, kinds of stupid shit. And, hopefully, since no charges were pressed, that it didn't actually happen and it's not just her being stupid.
Mm-hmm. Well, you get the battered spouse syndrome, and that's what everybody always worries about. So
right, and again, like I said, it's all speculation. He's a piece of shit from everything I've been reading about him.
Yes.
So I wouldn't put it past him, and I wouldn't put it past the battered woman syndrome. But since it's all speculation, who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bad situation. The whole where there's smoke, there's fire. Right.
And when her brothers come out and say, "Hey, she needs to get away from this guy because he's a piece of shit," and the fact that they vacated Global Force Wrestling vacated the one title that he held because it was the belt was her family.
Yes, yeah, they took it off him because it was in the family's promotion.
Right. So I don't know. I think there's more to it, but the world will never know. Unfortunately.
The world may never know.
Just like Mr. Owl.
Yes.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
As many licks as you want to do.
Sadly, if there are anybody who listens to this and they're younger, they won't get half the references that I use because I'm an old fuck.
You are an old fuck. I'm kind of stalling too because I'm going through the old newsletter here, seeing if there's anything worth talking about. But there has not been a whole lot of news. You got the G1, and that's exciting. They've been putting on great matches. You got WWE rolling into SummerSlam. We got some matches set up, but we've kind of talked about them, so I don't have much else to say. You got some debuts coming into GFW. You do have Johnny Nitro, Johnny Morrison coming in here soon. And this whole situation with AAA, them stripping his girlfriend of the belt, and his little Twitter rant.
No, is he going to Global Force?
He is, because they're allowing Lucha Underground and AAA people to go there, but they're not signed by Global Force.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I know I was reading rumors that the WWE may have an interest in signing him back.
They should, but who knows? He may not want to, because it leaves him open to do other things that he likes to do. So.
Right, exactly.
And that's the same thing, going back to that Rey Mysterio potentially in talks with WWE and Global Force Wrestling. So we'll see. It sounds like his Lucha Underground contract is expiring, so there is that.
Yeah, and I guess if Lucha Underground doesn't start recording soon, then all of the contracts are going to be null and void anyway.
Heard that, but at the same time, how it's signed, as long as they do announce a season 4, they can hold them to it. So we'll see. Also, Drago is booked for GFW, and he's a pretty good wrestler. It should be interesting to see. So, Brian, do you have anything else to add?
I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Got your shit covered.
Yes.
So, we will be back. We will be back, Wednesday? I'm hoping. Keep that trend going. I'll be back to work, so I'll be tired of shit. But we're going to break down a little bit of Raw, a little bit of SmackDown. I'm hoping Brian did get his cherry popped with some more TNA recently, GFW. And he said it was boring. I've been trying to watch ROH. Have not found time for that yet, so I'm hoping to cover some other stuff because everybody covers Raw and SmackDown, so that's why we do. But hoping to get some different things.
I wish ROH wasn't on so late here.
Well, I tape it. You can watch it. You're a week behind, but you can watch it on their website. Are you there?
Yeah, you cut out.
Oh, you can watch it on their website. It's like a week behind, but you can watch it for free.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But yeah, we'll be back. I still want to do the drunk cast. We're still trying to get that planned. Need to find some people willing to come drink, and then we should be going from there. So until next time, again, you can check us out at withasmallpackage.podbean.com. And you can check me out at Monty the Yank and Brian at Brian Byers with a Y 45, which is the number 45. You can hit us up. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just look up Monty the Yank or Wrestling with the Small Package. And please subscribe, leave a feedback, watch. I don't know. Our numbers are not high, but hopefully one day more than a handful of people will be listening. So until next time, I am Monty the Yank.
And I am Brian Byers.
And we will talk to you. What'd you say?
I said with a Y.
With a Y. And we'll talk to you all again next time.
Take care.